Imagine an empire that ruled over 60 million people, spanned 3 continents, and built roads that still exist today. You've heard of Julius Caesar, Gladiators, and maybe even Nero's fiddle. But what if I told you that the Roman Empire is far stranger, more complex, and more brilliant than schoolbooks let on? In this video, we're diving deep, not into what everyone knows, but into the real, hidden, and sometimes bizarre truths that made the Roman Empire one of the most fascinating civilizations in history. You're about to discover facts that will change the way you think about ancient Rome forever. So grab your seat, silence the distractions, and let's explore the top 10 little-known facts about the Roman Empire. And hey, if you love history the way we do, don't forget to like, drop a comment, share this with someone who needs a mind-blowing Roman fact, subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you never miss another dive into the past. 10. Urine was a cleaning product and a taxable commodity. Yes, you heard that right. Urine wasn't just a waste product in ancient Rome. It was a valuable resource. The ammonia in urine made it ideal for cleaning clothes and even whitening teeth. Romans would collect urine in pots placed along public roads and in fullers' shops, where it was used in the laundering process. But here's where it gets really wild. Emperor Vespasian saw the economic potential in pee and placed a tax on public urinals in the 1st century CE. The phrase pecunia non olet, money doesn't stink, was born from this policy. It was Vespasian's way of saying profit is profit no matter the source. So the next time you complain about taxes, be thankful your local government isn't monetizing your bathroom breaks. 9. Romans had take-out food before drive-thrus existed, forget McDonald's. Long before the modern fast food chain, ancient Romans enjoyed their own version of take-out dining. Most Romans, especially in cities like Pompeii, didn't cook at home. Instead, they flocked to Thermopolia, small street-side snack bars where hot food and drinks were served quickly. These Thermopolia were often beautifully decorated and featured built-in dolia, clay jars, to hold food. Archaeologists have even found one in near-perfect condition, complete with illustrations of ducks, roosters, and what might be early menu boards. This shows how bustling and advanced urban Roman life was, complete with dinner on the go. 8. Roman concrete was stronger than modern concrete. How have Roman harbors, temples, and aqueducts withstood thousands of years while modern concrete sometimes crumbles in just decades? The secret lies in the chemical composition of Roman concrete, which included volcanic ash. When mixed with lime and seawater, it triggered a chemical reaction that made the concrete stronger over time, especially when exposed to water. Scientists today are still studying Roman concrete to develop more sustainable building materials. That's right, we're still learning from the Romans 2,000 years later. Their engineering genius wasn't just about grand structures, it was about materials we were still trying to understand. 7. Purple dye was worth more than gold. In Rome, the color purple wasn't just a fashion choice, it was a power move. The dye, known as Tyrian purple, was made from the mucus of sea snails, specifically murex snails. The process was painstaking. Thousands of snails were needed just to produce a single gram of dye. Because of its rarity and cost, purple became a status symbol reserved for emperors and the elite. In fact, laws were passed forbidding ordinary citizens from wearing it. That is where the phrase, born into the purple, comes from. It literally meant being born into royalty. 6. Roman gladiators followed strict diets and took supplements. You might imagine gladiators as muscular carnivores, gorging on meat before battle. But archaeological analysis of gladiator remains has revealed a surprising truth. Most gladiators ate a mostly vegetarian diet, heavy on barley and legumes. They were nicknamed hordearii, or barley men, and drank a calcium-rich drink made from charred bones or ashes, possibly to help with muscle recovery and bone strength. Gladiators were the ancient equivalent of professional athletes, and they were monitored, trained, and dieted like one too. 5. Rome had firefighters and a shady real estate mogul. The Roman Empire had its own fire brigade called the Vigiles, established under Emperor Augustus. But before that, one of the richest men in Rome, Marcus Licinius Crassus, ran a private fire brigade with a dark business twist. If your building caught fire, Crassus would show up with his firefighters, but he wouldn't help until you sold him the property at a massive discount. Only then would he put the fire out, making him both a savior and a vulture. He amassed huge wealth this way. Today, we'd call that disaster capitalism. In ancient Rome, just another Tuesday. 4. Romans invented the bound book, Codex. Before the Romans, people mostly wrote on scrolls. But around the 1st century CE, the Romans invented the Codex, what we now know as the modern book, with bound pages that could be flipped instead of rolled. The Codex was more portable, more durable, and easier to reference than a scroll. It revolutionized education, religion, and record-keeping. In fact, the spread of Christianity was helped by the use of codices, allowing the Bible to be distributed and read more easily. So the next time you flip through a book, remember, you're holding a Roman innovation. 3. Emperors were worshipped as gods. Even while alive, Rome had many gods, but starting with Augustus, emperors were added to the list. While many cultures deified rulers after death, the Romans sometimes worshipped living emperors in the eastern provinces. Temples were built, sacrifices offered, and statues erected. Being called divine became a political strategy to cement power and inspire loyalty. This created a bizarre blend of politics and religion, where to criticize the emperor could be seen as both treason and blasphemy. It also gave rise to a cult of personality that would echo through history, from monarchies to modern dictatorships. 2. Rome had an apartment crisis. Think New York housing is bad. Ancient Rome had over 1 million residents, making it the largest city in the ancient world. And yes, they had their own version of apartment buildings called insulae. These multi-story buildings often housed dozens of families and were made of cheap materials, prone to collapse or fire. Renters in the upper levels paid less, not for the view, but because it was more dangerous. Landlords were often corrupt, maintenance was terrible, and safety was minimal. In fact, fires and building collapses were so common that Augustus created new fire codes and limited building heights. So if you've ever struggled with a shady landlord or noisy neighbors, you are living a very Roman experience. 1. The fall of Rome wasn't the end of Rome. You've probably heard that the Roman Empire fell in 476 CE, but that's not the full story. What most people don't realize is that the Eastern Roman Empire, known as the Byzantine Empire, continued for nearly another 1,000 years, until Constantinople fell to the Ottomans in 1453. The Byzantine Empire preserved Roman law, culture, and Christianity through the Middle Ages. Its capital, Constantinople, became one of the wealthiest cities in the world, and a center of art, science, and diplomacy. So, the fall of Rome was really a shift, not an end. Roman influence never truly disappeared. It evolved, and in many ways, still shapes our world today. From urine taxes to concrete secrets, take-out food to bound books, these little-known facts reveal a side of the Roman Empire most people never hear about. Rome wasn't just swords and sandals. It was innovation, ambition, corruption, and culture all wrapped into one of the most powerful legacies the world has ever seen. Now it's your turn. If you learned something new today, hit that like button. Got a favorite fact or one we missed? Drop it in the comments below. Know someone who thinks they know history? Share this with them and blow their mind. Want more engaging deep dives into untold history? Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you're first in line when the next one drops. Thank you for watching, and remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, but your knowledge of it just grew.